I mean, thank you for the introduction, James. So, as James said, today I'm going to be speaking about hybrid working. It's a topic that is everyone's focused on at the moment, especially what's happened over the last couple of years. It's how do we kind of continue this, and what does it look like moving forward? So today I'm going to be covering some typical challenges that I, as a manager, have faced and are still kind of facing, and also after speaking to some other managers, what they are facing, and then what we can do just to kind of keep our teams motivated within this new work model. So before we kind of get into the challenges, I think one thing that has become very clear is that there isn't. We're not going back to the old kind of 5 days a week in the office model. Employees and businesses have basically seen the benefits of taking a hybrid approach, and like it or not, this is the new world of working. So when I speak about hybrid working and why it's important, what I mean by that is the ability to allow your employees to work remotely or in the office as of when they wish. So 76% of employees have adopted this new way of working and will continue to do so. And then if we look within my team at Sales Loft, around 85% of my reps will continue this hybrid working model. So in terms of some of the typical challenges that like I said, I have been facing and other managers, number one is really around the kind of visibility on what reps are doing. Now, for me, this has been mainly around like new reps, hiring during COVID. It's not necessarily based on the trust element. Everyone that I hire, I do trust. It's more around me as a manager, just kind of feeling, am I doing enough to support them, and do they get it? And then this kind of goes into the next point is, just struggling to keep reps motivated. Now, there's quite a few SDRs on the call, and if you're an SDR during COVID, from what I've been hearing, it's very, very tough to get yourself motivated, making cold calls from your bedroom or living room. It's tough to do, especially if, you're in a house share or you're at home with your parents. It's just having people there. It's just very, very hard to kind of get yourself motivated to make those calls. The next point is communication. Now, whereas before, when you're in an office environment, you could literally walk up to someone's desk, whether that be your manager or a peer, you could walk up to them and literally just ask them a question. Now that everything's done over Slack, it's, people's calendars are busy, and you have to, literally say to them, can I get 5 minutes of your time when you're free to ask you a very, very simple question, which before, when in the office environment, it was answered within kind of 30 seconds. Now, number 4 is, around culture. Building and maintaining a culture has now become an even bigger ask when you're trying to build a team remotely. So as a manager, you're faced with, okay, I can see what the reps are doing. Do I need to be doing anything else? Am I doing enough to kind of keep them motivated? And then the last point in some of the challenges is just the overall lack of engagement you get, especially over Zoom or other video meetings. As a manager, it's very, very frustrating when you're cascading something down or you're presenting something to your team on a Monday morning, cameras are off, lack of engagement, and no one's interacting. And it's a challenge because you don't know how much of that has gone in, and if they've kind of understood that. So with those challenges, what can we do as managers to keep our teams motivated? So one thing I've got down here is, communicate the team goals and the company vision to your team. So one thing I like to do is to give your reps basically a full picture of not only their targets, they know their targets, but the team targets and also the business targets, and also why these targets are the targets. So I take the business number, the overall business number, whether that be pipeline or revenue, and then work backwards with the SDRs just to make sure they understand what impacts they're having on that business number. Number 2 is set clear targets and hold them accountable. Now, this ties in very nicely with the communication side, and this does become easier once you have communicated the overall kind of business targets. Number 3, set high expectations. Your expectations moving forward, that could be what I mentioned before in one of the challenges. That could be a camera on in meetings. high level of engagement within the team, as well as their activity numbers and what's expected of them to kind of get to their number. Now, the next one is around kind of create that competitive environment. If you want to keep your team motivated, spiffs are a great way of doing this. One thing that I've implemented at not just SalesLoft, another company, is when you're doing these cold calling blocks, get everyone to join, and then when someone connects with a prospect, everyone joins that call. I'm not here to pitch kind of different tech that does this, but you can kind of guess the ones out there that do. The next one is around providing that ongoing one-to-one coaching and team sessions. One thing that I've learned over the years is a one-to-one is the rep's time. It's that use that time to make sure they're always learning. One thing that I've been doing is I get the reps to send me cold calls or discovery calls before, at least 24 hours before our one-to-ones. I then listen to that and then we analyze it together in their one-to-one. Or if they mention something else, focus on those areas, and then you can put team sessions in if it does become a popular topic. Number 6 is one of my favorites. It's buddy systems. Buddy the new reps up with more experienced reps, or align SDRs with AEs. It's a great way to not only hold them accountable, but to keep that kind of on that one-to-one coaching. So that's kind of it in terms of what I'm discussing. But 3 key takeaways that I've got: buddy systems, align newbies with the experienced reps, and this will help with the development and motivation. Number 2 is once you've communicated the team goals and wider vision, it'll become a lot easier for you to set clear expectations with your reps. And number 3, to keep reps engaged, create a healthy competition across the team.